Good morning. This is call number 2020-20874. In the interest of Carmelo Carbonis, ma'am, please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Your Honor, before you swear her in, I just want to make sure you're aware that Mr. Cabinet, he did appear earlier. He was in negotiations. He was given the Zoom information, and he has chosen not to log in. And we've been on here since 10 o'clock waiting for him, and it's now 10:38.
All right. Raise your right hand, ma'am. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Marisa Valanda, and I'm Carmelo Cabinet's mother.
All right. For the state?
Sharday Parker, Your Honor. Miss Londa, are you the mother
Oh,
of...
no. Wait.
Oh, sorry.
All right. The court will note that the non-custodial parent is Donnie Ray Cabanis. He was present earlier. Is that correct, Ms.
Yes, Your Honor.
Parker? And what happened? He left?
He left without being dismissed. He was given this information to log into the Zoom, and to log into the court Zoom, and he did not log in. And we've been on here since 10 o'clock.
Court will note that Donnie Ray Cabanis was served on July 16th. (2020) at 5:10 p.m. at 10101 Forum Park Drive, apartment 2039 in Houston, Harris County, Texas. He appeared earlier for negotiations. He's left without being excused. We'll proceed by default. Was he in negotiations actually with you at the time?
Yes, I did speak with him, Your Honor. He was in negotiations with me at the time.
All right. And were you able to get anywhere on those negotiations?
We were going to have a hearing regardless, but we were able to discuss the child support, medical support, and the conservatorship.
All right. And he had further notice of this Zoom hearing by certified mail. Return receipt requested, which was delivered to him on August 27th, 2020. All right. Go ahead.
Ms. Londa, are you the mother of Carmelo Cabanis?
Yes, ma'am.
What is his date of birth?
January 18, 2017.
Who is the father of Carmelo Cabanis?
Donnie Ray Cabanis.
Are you currently married?
No.
Were you married when Carmelo was conceived?
No.
How do you know that Donnie Ray Cabanis is the father?
He was the only one I was in relations and intimate with at the time.
Are you asking this court to establish the parent-child relationship between Carmelo and Donnie Ray Cabanis?
Yes.
How old is Carmelo?
3 years old.
When was the last time Mr. Cabanis saw Carmelo?
April 2020.
How long have you been separated from Mr. Cabanis?
Since January 2018.
And have you been the sole provider for Carmelo since January 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the last time Carmelo had any type of when was the last time Donnie had any type of communication with Carmelo?
In April or May of 2020.
Does Mr. Cabanis contact you about the general welfare of your child?
No,
Who makes the day-to-day decisions about Carmelo?
I do.
Who takes Carmelo to dental and doctor's appointments?
I do. And if I can't make it due to work, then my mother does.
And up until this point, who has raised Carmelo?
I have.
Miss Linda, when did you separate?
January 2020.
No, she
Eh,
said January 2018.
January 2018. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, since that time, how many times has Mr. Cabanis visited with Carmelo?
Mr. Cabanis was incarcerated until January of 2020. So since then, since he's been released, I'd say maybe 5 times he's seen him.
So less than once a month?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Miss Parker.
No problem. And in your experience, can the cabinets give first priority to Carmelo's welfare when making parenting decisions?
No.
Will it benefit the physical, psychological, and emotional needs of Carmelo were Mr. Cabinets to be appointed a joint managing conservator?
No.
Is this why you're asking the court to appoint you as managing conservator of this child and for Mr. Cabinets to be the possessor conservator of this child?
Yes.
And do you believe that's in Carmelo's best interest?
Yes, I do.
And are you asking this court to designate you as the managing conservator with the exclusive right to designate the primary residence without a geographic restriction?
Yes.
Are you asking this court to order a standard visitation and access schedule between Mr. Cabinets and Carmelo?
No.
What type of visitation are you requesting at this time?
None.
And why are you requesting no visitation?
Due to the previous domestic violence between us, the last time he did threaten to kill Carmelo and I. And that's when I called the police. And he went to prison for that. And also the time before while I was pregnant, he we had a domestic violence incident. And the time that he has been out of jail or prison, I still tried, to see maybe he changed, maybe he can be a good father. However, I was constantly reaching out to him, trying so they could see each other. And sometimes he wouldn't even show up. He'd say he'd show up on certain days and he wouldn't. And so Carmelo's just waiting there and I'm waiting there with him. And he does know who his dad is just because I've seen them, interact with each other after he had gotten out of prison. And so he remembers who his father is and he knows that's his dad. So I would tell him, okay, you're going to see your dad today, but then his dad wouldn't show up. So then he would get sad. And then also Carmelo is on the autism spectrum. So he is a little bit different than your normal everyday child, just with his behaviors. There's times that he'll just have a meltdown. Either he'll just get very upset, or very sad. And it's very hard to kind of control that or comfort a child like that. So that's why I think it's in the best interest.
Thank you. And just to be clear, you stated that Mr. Cabinets was convicted and went to jail for the domestic violence against you and the threats of killing you and Carmelo. And this occurred in 2018, correct?
Yes.
And he was released in January of 2020, correct?
Yes.
And is there private health or dental insurance available to you at a reasonable cost?
No,
Are you aware if there's private health or dental insurance available to Mr. Cabanis at a reasonable cost?
I don't know.
If no, are you asking the court to order cash medical support in the amount of $56 per month?
Yes.
Are you also asking the court to approve the child support in the amount of $239 per month?
Yes.
And you and Mr. Cabanis has been out of jail since January 24th, 2020, correct?
Yes.
And are you asking for retroactive child support from January 24th, 2020 until today in the amount of $2,390, correct?
Yes.
And we're asking for that to be paid back at $61 a month, correct?
Yes.
And you're also asking the court to order that Mr. Cabanis be responsible for 50% of uncovered health insurance expenses for your child, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any safety concerns with your address being listed in this order?
Yes, due to the previous domestic violence.
And does he currently know your address?
No.
Does he currently have access to your phone number?
He has my phone number, but I do have his phone number blocked.
And are you asking this court to grant you a non-disclosure of information and make a finding for a non-disclosure of information?
Yes, please.
And if the court was to order any visitation, you would only be comfortable if it was the Harris County Domestic Relations Office, correct?
Supervised, yes, ma'am.
Yes. But you're not comfortable with that at this point,
I'm
even.
not. Right.
And are you asking the court to order the NCP to pay all court costs?
Yes.
Are you asking the court to grant this default judgment?
Yes.
If Mr. Cabanis was to have access to your address or your phone number, do you believe that he will call, threaten, and harass you?
I feel like he might, only because he did contact me in April saying that he had bought a few items for our son and he wanted to see him. So I allowed him to drop the items off and I supervised the visit. And he did say that he wanted to take him to get a haircut by himself. And I said, no, if you want to go with us to get his haircut, we can all go get a haircut together somewhere. And he said, this is why I filed child support on myself, because you don't let me take him anywhere by myself. So I felt like that was kind of a somewhat supposed to be a threat towards me because I didn't file and he's upset that I won't let him take him places by himself.
Okay, and you do believe that this default order will be in the best interest of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ma'am, he has your phone number right now?
Yes, sir.
And has he been calling you and harassing you?
Not
Or
at the moment.
threatening you or anything like that?
No.
All right.
Your Honor, she
But
also has his
that's
phone
because I
number
have it
blocked.
blocked. Yeah, I have his number blocked.
All right, the default order and the suit affecting parent-child relationship will be improved, but to include the possession and access to the domestic relations office.
Okay,
Anything further? All right,
nothing further, Your Honor.
thank you. And you will be submitting that order today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
May we be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Just hold on one second, Ms. Londa.
Okay.